political executive. Interest in that is now mounting. Only one man knows the answers, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness. And he's set to meet with the Governor General this morning, Governor General Sir Patrick Allen at King's House. We're told that they're due to meet to begin accelerating the motion. Yes, the motion that must be started to get the new government sworn into office. Well, and of course, that meeting comes following the formalization of the election of the 63 members of Parliament. And of course, you have the preliminary count. All the final counts are now in, and the Electoral Office would be advising the Governor General of the official winners. Indeed, one of the JLP's representatives on the Electoral Commission of Jamaica, Tom Tavares Vincent, told our news centre yesterday that the way is now clear for the Prime Minister and his cabinet to be sworn in.
I can confirm that the Electoral Office of Jamaica has corresponded with His Excellency the Governor General to the effect that the Jamaica Labour Party secured the majority of constituencies in the September 3rd elections. This will pave the way for the swearing in of the Prime Minister and the new government. Further correspondence, of course, will follow and detail the result of those elections, but this clears the way for a formal meeting between His Excellency and the Prime Minister arising from which the details of the swearing in of the Prime Minister and the government will emerge.
Tom Tavares Vincent, King's Counsel there, and a representative of the JLP on the Electoral Commission of Jamaica. Well, we watch to see when the actual swearing in will take place. Will it be later this week or early next week? I suspect later this week. Yeah. But in the meantime, I don't know who are going to be in the cabinet, nor the executive, so you can't stop calling me or stop messaging me. You can't give me a prip. Say, me? No, I don't know. Like you, I'm eagerly waiting for the Prime Minister to tell us. All right, coming out of the elections, there are serious, valid concerns about voter turnout, apathy among the Jamaican voters. And the former Prime Minister, Bruce Golding, added his voice to those discussions when he told us yesterday that the country must now have a very serious debate and hopefully take action. Yeah? Precise action as to how it is going to stem the declining interest of voters in general elections. Something I've spoken about, we have spoken about, but we have never really done so in a concentrated way. And it would seem to me that we are at the point now, given that record low turnout in 2020, which we attributed to COVID, but there's no COVID in Jamaica now, and yet the turnout was 39.5 percentage points. And former Prime Minister Bruce Golding is now urging the country to seriously deal with this matter.
I'm disappointed, of course, at the level of turnout, and that's something that we're really going to have to sit down and discuss clinically as to why it is that 40% of the registered voters. Now, in fairness, if the list is inflated, then 40% of an inflated list may be more than 50% of a genuine list.
Yes.
But even then, in my early days of of being involved in politics. Voter turnout at elections were in this above 70%, and for it now be hovering around 40% is an issue of concern.
Absolutely. And frankly, I think we should set up a bipartisan national committee to look at what can we do specifically, yeah, in an effort to increase turnout and greater participation by our people. Because if you don't get it, we could go to a place where the entire process, the entire democratic process of choosing governments is discredited. And we don't want that. Because then it's going to be the rule of who? The strong man? Yeah? So we need to do something in an effort to stem the decline in participation. I see some people proposing that apart from a re-verification of those on the list, because there's an argument that, listen, a lot of people on the list of 2 million plus now are either dead or not living in Jamaica. Thirdly, people only get registered so that they can get the identification card. Yeah? That they need to use. Well, the NIDS is coming, so the NIDS may reduce the appetite or the instinct to go get the voter ID card as a form of satisfying your daily needs of identifying yourself. There's another suggestion I see where make voting easier. Yeah? For example, election day, a holiday, yeah, that will have to be seriously considered, because you don't want to give another holiday for people to just simply say they're gone to the beach. Yeah, to hell with you all, I'm going to the beach. So that has to be given some serious thought. Yeah. Some people are even suggesting that we should have voting taking place over 2-3 days. 2-3 days. Yeah. There are some categories of workers, and this is a plug for media workers. Media workers, for example, have a problem. We have to cover the elections on election day, but we are not given any privilege of early voting. Yeah? And it is a problem for editors and people in media every election, how to cover the elections and at the same time make adequate provisions for staff to go participate by voting. Yeah? Based on where people's votes are and where they work, it's a problem. So, frankly, I think it's time we set up a committee, totally national, yeah, to sit down and consider what specific steps we can take to improve greater participation in national elections. I said it earlier, in 1944, up to 1944, only the very rich and the people who own land could vote in Jamaica. Do we want to get back there? No. We have taken it for granted. And cow never know the use and tail till he lose it. The other issue that we need to seriously consider is financing, campaign financing. Yes? The stories we hear about hundreds of millions of dollars being spent, yeah, by the two major political parties. You hear the stories all over in the run-up to the election, but we can't verify them. Yeah? People were, one MP, Rhoda Crawford, told me demands were made of her to provide a bike. People wanted bikes. Yeah? In one parish in eastern Jamaica, we were told that people were handing out $25,000 in cash, $50,000 in cash. We hear all kinds of rumors about who encashed bonds to spend. We need to seriously take a look and summon the courage to deal with campaign financing, because we run the risk of ending up at a place where only those with money, cash, wealth, being able to determine who gets into Gordon House. Yeah? Time for the break.